All right, I have a question for you. Have you ever heard someone say,
"Your audio is just as important as your video, maybe even more"?
Well, they're right. But getting great audio isn't always as easy as just having nice gear and a nicely quiet, sound-treated room. Sometimes we have to make do with what we have and try and make it sound as good as possible in post-production. And this is where you say,
"But Dunna, I've already spent all this time learning how to film and edit videos. I don't want to have to learn how to do all that audio garbage too."
Okay, I hear you. So in this video, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to fix problems in your audio, as well as make it sound super awesome, all with just a couple of plugins from Accusonus. And to celebrate the release of their brand new
Voice Changer plugin,
we're also gonna go through a couple of more fun things that you can do with your audio as well. So, secure the cup and let's get ready to make some noise. Get it? Noise? Because it's a video about audio? Just roll the intro. Okay, so I've got a clip loaded up that's got some pretty problematic audio in it. I've got my headphones in so that I can mix better. I highly recommend listening to this on headphones if you can. You should be able to hear the difference either way, but it'll be easier to hear if you've got the headphones in. Let's take a quick listen and see what we're working with here. Okay, so this is the Provoke Lite, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? What is going on? Okay, so as you can hear, there's a ton of noise, lots of traffic noise and wind noise in the background. This was recorded with a lav mic attached to my chest, and it actually did a pretty decent job, all things considered. It was way windier than it sounds like it was, so I'm pretty happy with that, but there's a lot of cleaning up that we can still do. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to the Fairlight page, which is DaVinci's kind of audio page, but this will work in any of your nonlinear editors, whether it's Premiere or Final Cut or anything like that. So right off the bat, the first thing that I wanna do is clean up the noise. We're going to go over to effects, we're going to go down to noise reduction, and we're going to go to VST. Now you'll see all these Era 5 plugins. This is the plugin bundle that I'm talking about, made by Accusonus. They're fantastic plugins and they make things so easy. So we're going to start with the Era 5 Noise Remover. And it's one big knob. We're going to start by turning the processing all the way down, and we're just going to gradually bring it up. Check, check, 1, 2. Okay, so this is the Provoke Lite, and it is the... So basically this big knob in the middle is just an amount. How much of this effect do you want on your clip? So right now I've got it at 26%, and let's hear the difference. So this is before. Check, check, 1, 2. And this is after. Check, check, 1, 2. Okay, so this is the Provoke Lite, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? So it makes a huge difference, and we're only at 26% right now. Now you can go way overboard with this. Okay, so this is the Provoke Lite, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. And that's actually, honestly, that's really impressive how much it was able to kind of isolate the voice, but it's definitely kind of getting on top of it a little bit. So that's why you want to kind of dial it in where it sounds best. Another thing that you can do down at the bottom here is you can choose what it's focusing on. So for example, we've got all frequencies. We can have it focus on just the high frequencies. So for example, if you had like a hiss or something in your room primarily, just on the low frequencies, if you've got more of a hum, high and low frequencies, or you can have mid frequencies. But really all we had to do is turn this on, bring it all the way down, and gradually bring it up until it sounds good, and we got it. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back to noise reduction, VST again, and we're going to go to the auto EQ. Now, if you don't know what an EQ is, essentially it's how we kind of shape the sound, how much bass, how much treble, all that kind of stuff in there, and it can get really, really complicated, and you can do all sorts of things with it, and this makes it easy. As the name suggests, it just does it automatically. So all we have to do is start playing somewhere, and it starts listening. Check, 1, 2. Okay, so this is the Provoke Lite, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? What is going on? Okay, so after a second, it says analysis completed. And then basically down at the bottom here, we've got our intensity. So how much of the effect we want to do. I'm going to dial back the intensity. I find usually it's a little more than I want to start with. So I'll dial it back to about a 2. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why? So this maybe could come up just a little bit to a 3. off. Okay, so this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? And then you can fine tune it if you really want to by moving this dot around so we can have more body. Okay, so this is the provoke light,
more
and it
clarity.
is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy.
Or more air.
Okay, so this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy.
So body is going to be kind of like the chest sound, those kind of low frequencies. Your air is going to be kind of the upward hiss, like the treble stuff. And then clarity is going to be kind of the mids where the intelligibility of your vocals are. Generally, I find somewhere in the middle works pretty well. And then if you want it to relearn again, you can hit this learn button and it'll analyze again. You're good to go. The next thing that we want to do is we want to level it out. So we're going to go down to the Era 5 voice leveler. So what this is going to do, as you can see on the waveform here, I get quieter and then I get louder again and then I get quieter at the end. It's going to level it all out so that we can hear everything I'm saying. So if we turn this off to start with.
So this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? What is going on?
So for example, at the very end there, I say, what is going on? And I'm kind of like soft. So what we're going to do is turn this on and we'll hit play again.
Okay, so this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? What is going on?
So now that what is going on is almost the same volume as the rest of it. It's leveled it all out. And we can go crazy with this if we want. I find that this kind of 30 or 40% seems to be good for the way that I record my dialogue. There are a couple of different buttons down at the bottom here. There's this breath control button, which allows you to analyze 4 breaths and make sure that it doesn't bring up the volume of the breaths. Because essentially what it's doing is bringing up the volume of low pieces to match the louder pieces, but you don't want your breaths to constantly be louder. So you can hit that if you want. I find that on my dialogue, the way that I talk and the way that I edit my voice, it's not necessary. Then there's something called emphasis. And basically what this does is it puts a little bit of a high frequency emphasis and a little bit of a push on certain parts of the vocal. If you've got someone who's moving off of the microphone a lot, it can help with that as well. I'll show you what that sounds like here.
So this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? What is going on?
So in this specific case, I don't think it's necessary because I'm pretty loud and clear the whole time, but whatever you're using it on, it's there for you. Okay, so generally this is a pretty good setup with these 3 plugins. We've got our noise fixed, we've got our auto EQ, and then we've got our voice leveler to make everything kind of more even. But here's a fun fact. When you hear yourself back recorded like this, you're actually hearing it differently, more like what other people hear you like. And it can be a little bit jarring sometimes because when we hear ourselves, we're not only hearing through our ears, through the pressure of our eardrums, but we're also hearing through what's called bone conduction. We're vibrating our own bones. And so when you hear yourself, you hear yourself with a deeper voice. So if you want to mimic that, if you want to try and make it sound to everybody else like you sound, you can use something called our voice deepener. So we're going to go down to our Era 5 voice deepener and add that. And check this out.
So this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest.
So this is before.
This is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my.
And this is after.
Okay, so this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest.
Personally, I don't usually use this because I've gotten used to hearing myself back recorded, but if you want to make yourself sound a little bit deeper than what the recording came across, or if the microphone made it sound not quite as deep as your actual voice is, or if you just want to have that kind of announcer sound, you can use this. Let's get rid of that one for now. The other thing that I noticed is that the auto EQ has really brought up a lot of the high frequencies, and some of the S's and T's are coming through a little bit harsh. So let's head back in and we're going to grab the De-Esser. And that is what it sounds like it is. It's going to get rid of the S's. It's going to de-ess it. And again, simple 1 knob plugin. All you got to do is bring it up to the amount that you want. So we're going to listen through.
This is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's...
Now again, with any of these plugins, you can go really far with them and it'll start to sound a little funny. So if we crank this up...
Okay, so this is the provoke light, and it is the teeniest, cutest.
Sounds like I got gum stuck to the top of my mouth or something like that. So we're going to dial it back a little bit. And down at the bottom here, it actually shows you a waveform readout, and in green, it's showing you where it's affecting the vocal.
This is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? Now, so far we've gone over 5 of the Era 5 plugins. We've used 4 of them to shape our dialogue in this video, but there are even more options for specific cleanup of specific types of audio. For example, there's something called the Plosive Remover, and a plosive is essentially a P or a B, a lot of air being blown straight into the microphone, and it'll make this kind of p sound. So you can fix that by using the Plosive Remover. And it'll sound something like this, and it'll make this kind of p sound. And it'll make this kind of p sound. Now, from time to time, you might also set your audio levels wrong and get a little bit of clipping, or if you set them right, but then something really loud happens all of a sudden, it might clip the levels. You can use the audio declipper, and this doesn't even have a knob. It's just got 2 types of processing, turn it on or turn it off, and then you've got standard or high quality, and it might sound something like this.
So here I am talking at a reasonable level, and then all of a sudden, I get a little loud. So here I am talking at a reasonable level, and then all of a sudden, I get a little loud. Now, what if you've got somebody who makes a lot of noise with their mouth? Maybe they just finished eating something. You've got this Era 5 mouth declicker, and it might sound something like this.
I don't know what you're talking about. I sound fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I sound fine. And then for those times when you're recording in a room that's got a lot of reverb, there's also a reverb remover, and it works similar to the noise remover. So some of these controls will look really familiar, but it's going to be targeting the reverb rather than the noise. Welcome to the living room, where there's lots of reverb, and the fridge is constantly making noise. Welcome to the living room, where there's lots of reverb, and the fridge is constantly making noise. And as if that wasn't enough, there's also a Pro bundle that comes with more plugins, Pro versions of some of the plugins that give you a little bit more control. For example, we've got a De-Esser Pro, a Noise Remover Pro, and a Reverb Remover Pro. So if we look at the Noise Remover Pro, essentially it's got some presets in here. So let's say we were doing fan noise, it'll set it for you, and these are different frequencies. And you've still got your one knob processing down here for your master kind of amount, but you've also got individual control over your bass, your mids, and your high frequencies, and how much processing it's doing to get rid of the noise in those different bands. But I promised I'd keep it simple, so we're going to stick with the one knob ones for now. Now, before we get into the crazy effects, there is one more thing that I want to show you. If we get rid of all of our plugins here, they've also made this super easy by giving us the Audio Cleanup Assistant. 5 different slots where you can put any of those Era 5 plugins. So first we want to do our noise remover, then we want to do our auto EQ, De-Esser, and then we want to do our voice leveler. And so I've basically got the same chain, but it's all in one convenient plugin. Okay, so here's before. Okay, so this is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. And then there's after. Okay, so this is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Just makes it so easy. Okay, but I promised you weird stuff. So let's look at some weird stuff. So Accusonus just released the voice changer plugin, and this is really, really fun. Check this out. Okay, so every effect in this plugin is made up of 3 different parts. There's the character, the effect, and the environment. And this is really cool because you've got different characters that you can choose, different types of human effects, robots, supernatural, like monsters and aliens and stuff. Then you've got an effect, so we can have radio, we can have a cell phone, you can have a megaphone, all that kind of stuff. And then you've got the environment. So this is going to be like reverb and delay and those kinds of things. So you've got your bathroom, you've got out in nature, you've got public spaces like a train station, that kind of stuff. And right at the top here, we've got presets that are kind of pre-made versions of what you might need. So let's say you've got a scene in your video where it's supposed to be someone hearing an announcement over an intercom system in an airport. So you go down to the Creator Basic Pack, choose Airport Announcement, and so this is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? Or maybe it's supposed to sound like you're hearing like a weather report coming through a radio, a small radio in the kitchen. So this is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? How about Titan?
So this is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy?
That's too funny. So you can get as crazy as you want with this. And if you take away the character, the effect and the environment can be quite useful just on their own as well. So we can bypass it by hitting that little button there. And then if you go over to this, we can choose our, let's say, a megaphone effect, and I can turn that up a little bit, maybe turn off the environment. so this is the Provoke Light, and it is the teeniest, cutest. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Why is it so windy? So that on its own could be really useful. All right, so that's a look at the Era 5 plugins from Accusonus. I've been using them since they were the Era 4 plugins. They're really helpful. They're really easy to use, and that's coming from a person who is a professional audio engineer. I know how to do all this stuff, but sometimes I just love the ease of use that comes with a one knob system. And for those of you who don't necessarily know how to do all that stuff, or maybe you don't want to buy complicated plugins and then have to learn how to use them, these are absolutely perfect for beginners, people who don't want to spend too much time on it. And of course, there are links in the description so you can check out Accusonus and everything that they have to offer, which is so much more than even what I showed in this video. And as always, I want to hear from you, so make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of all these plugins. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave them down there. And on your way down, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on future reviews and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Accusonus for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you
next time.